Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear? Okay, I'm today's host. In China, 2020, there's lots of change about cosmetic regulations. And we know the biggest change is about the fundamental law called CSAR. And we know one of the biggest change is about the cosmetic ingredient, because this is a revolutionary change will create more opportunities for cosmetic ingredients. And today, we are honorably invite one of our regulatory experts, Roger. He will introduce about how to register new cosmetics ingredient in China. He has accumulated lots of experience in regulatory compliance. If you focus on Zhongmao, you will also know about all our events organized previously, including the cosmetic regulation introduction, and also we introduce the different solutions to enter China market. So the next step, we will warmly invite Roger to introduce in more detail. Let's welcome.
Thank you, Jason. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? If you're not here clearly, you can type your message in the text box at the right corner of the Zoom meeting software. Okay, let's begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And my name is Roger Ying from Zhongmao Enterprise Service in Hangzhou, China. I'm a cosmetics regulatory consultant with 8 years experience in the industry now. I served plenty corporates from the cosmetic brands and also the cosmetic ingredients corporates. So today I'm gonna bring you the topic of how to register new cosmetics ingredients in China in 2021. The questions are taken at the end of the webinar. So if you have any thought comes to mind, please type it into the text box as well, or you can talk with me by microphone at the end of the webinar. Okay, let's begin. Well, here's the structure I would like to show you first. This is a new cosmetics regulatory structure which will be implemented at 2021. So this is the reason we are holding this webinar, all because of the umbrella law of Cosmetic Supervision and Administration Regulation CSAR. So it will be implemented on January 1, 2021. So with the umbrella law changes, which it's changed during 30 years already. So before the cosmetic regulation 1989. So all the supporting regulations are necessary to be updated, amended, and shifted, or new published again. So as you can see in the flow chart here, under the CSAR, we have plenty new regulations and standards. We have administrative measures for cosmetic regulation, and then we have toothpaste supervision and cosmetic classification rules, or the guidelines for the evaluation of cosmetic efficacy claims. All these standards are totally new to us. But today's our topic is based on the left side here. I marked the blue text box here. We based on the specification of new cosmetic ingredients registration data to deeply explain how to register the new cosmetic ingredients in China. Okay, but before that, please be aware of that all these regulations are all under the public consulting period and estimated to be formally released after this are being implemented next year. So the content we talked today, it might be face a little bit minor changes after the regulation being formally implemented. So, but we will keep you updated if any changes. All right. So in today's seminar, I will separate the topic into 4 sections. First of all, I will share you with the registration background of NCI registration, new cosmetic ingredients. At the following time, I will refer the new cosmetic ingredient to NCI. Okay. At section 2 and 3, I will deeply analyze new cosmetics ingredients registration management scope and the process as well, and also any required documents and testing you might need to complete the registration. And at section 4, I will quickly to conclude the challenges and testing we might face, challenges and the opportunities for our company we might face, and to think and evaluate the chance at the China market due to the big changes. So, all right, let's move on to today's first topic. NCI registration background. So first of all, what is new cosmetics ingredients in China? This is is a unique definition in China according to NMPA. The definition here is raw material synthesized or occurring in nature, which is firstly applied in cosmetics products in China, will be recognized as new cosmetic ingredients. But here I should mention that actually, due to the history registration issue, not every single ingredient that have been used in the market can be used in the cosmetic products now. So that's a bit complex idea to explain. Like many years ago, maybe years ago, you already use these kind of ingredients in the market, but now you might not, because it's not listed in the ICIC 2015. Yes, so I should mention that on 2015, the former CFDA, which now is NMPA, National Medical Products Administration, it's issued the positive list, inventory of existing cosmetic ingredients in China, aka ICIC 2015. This is only evidence to check that is your raw materials belong to new cosmetics ingredients scope or not. Okay, if you want to request the ICIC 2015, you can contact me. I can send you the link to download. Okay. Sorry, I cannot turn the page. Okay, so how many ingredients that we can use in China cosmetic regulation? Under the current law, we only has 9,000 around ingredients can be used in the cosmetic. For ICIC 2015, we have 8,783, and plus the ingredients in the safety and the technical standards for cosmetic 2015, which contains the positive list and the limited use list as well. The restricted ingredients, preservative, UV filter, colorants, and hair dye ingredients. these are positive and limited usage ingredients. All these are a very small portion for the global international ingredients dictionary handbook, according to the PC, which published on 2016. And I think it's already over 30,000 ingredients after 2019 already. Okay, you can see the big gap here in the China cosmetic ingredient market. So here, here is the current status of NCI registration. If you joined the NCI registration webinar before, you must be very familiar with this picture. Okay. That shows only 10 ingredients that been registered in the CFDA and the MOH history, the Ministry of Health, before the 2008. So which is crossed over 30 years since the first cosmetics regulation being published at 1989. So you got the idea, only 10 ingredients being approved after in the cosmetics history in China. So as you can see, the applicants here on column 3. In the past, I have to say only the big company like Thinrise and Shiseido are capable to invest a huge time and cost to get the single NCI registration certificate, right? Actually, to mention, you can see they got approved a few ingredients, but might be they are applying multiple or many ingredients at the same time. So, however, the situation totally gonna change in 2021 due to the new regulation. The player at the new cosmetics field in China must increase significantly. So you may wondering, what is the logic behind of the CFDA expert pool to supervise cosmetic ingredients and put the registration process too strict to get the certificate? It's like an impossible mission in the past. Well, the behind logic is the safety issues. So as China's population is way too large, and if any massive side effect occurs from cosmetics products, it will affect tons of consumers and turns to a national issues. Yes. So the attitude to the uncertainty of risk of NCI is as tough as they want. So this is well, I will show you here the picture. Here is the success supervision example, we could say, that made by CFDA here. The Rhododendron events. We have a brand called Cannibal on 2013. They faced a massive symptom side effects, which caused white spots on the screen and causing the over 2,000 consumers suffering from the very serious symptoms. So they totally that year they totally recall for 450,000 products that contain rhododendron across Asia. So, but products from mainland CFDA is announced at that year that products from mainland China do not contain rhododendron because they explained Cannibal has indeed applied the CFDA for these new cosmetic ingredients. So, but it was not past the safety approval. So none of the products contain these ingredients in China. So as you can see, the success to get the ingredients to all the consumer market to be safety. But yes, there's a bright side, also is a negative side. The cosmetic ingredient market in China is not improving very fast, and the innovative technology, etc., all just stopped. So I'm not saying they are not doing anything. Well, despite the strict attitude of the NCI registration over last decade, the CFDA and the current NMPA are also willing to change and to push the NCI registration supervision to the good environment, to push forward for the cosmetic market in China. So we can see here the legislative process over the past years to release the guidance and the standards to make the effort to, such as requirements for the application of the new plant cosmetic ingredients here, the draft on 2015. It is still draft, but this guidance is quite similar to the idea of the risks classification management of CSAR now. But such efforts cannot be changed. Cannot change the fundamental structure of the regulation until the CSAR to be released and will be implemented in 2021. So following, I would like to explain the NCI management scope at 2021 based on the new cosmetic regulation. Okay, the NCI management future. So first of all, let's see the future changes of the NCI management scope. Well, mainly divided into 4 scopes. First of all, management, the classification management, which will divide the cosmetics to high risk and low risk ingredients. And we put some monitoring, we put 3 years monitoring period to control the cosmetics usage in the market to make it safe. So the third is the testing, alternative testing, as you might be familiar in the past. If you pay attention to the animal testing issues in China, NMPA and from CFDA, they released several in vitro or other alternative testing already to the market, but these are specifically for the new cosmetic ingredients registration. So I will talk that more in later as well. And increasing penalties as well. More penalties it will bring if the manufacturer or the cosmetic products who use the new cosmetic ingredients in the market, if they will suffer more serious penalties. To these 4 management scope that based is on the safety issues. Okay. So let's take a look at the classification management first. According to the CSAR, the new cosmetic ingredients now, well, in 2021, will be divided into 2 categories to manage. First, low risk or medium. Low risk risk ingredients such as oil ester, surfactant, high molecule, polymers, and plant extracts, they belong to the low-risk ingredients. And the high-risk ingredients, they're more focused on the special functions like preservatives, sunscreen, colorant, hair dye, wrinkle removal, or whitening functions. So after we classified the risk of the ingredients to high risk and low risk, we will need to deal different supervision method. For high risk, we need to do the registration, which take more serious evaluation from NMPA experts and it will require more testing subjects and more time to complete. And for low-risk cosmetic ingredients, we only need to do the notification, which means we similar to the cosmetic products notification now. It will simply very quick to put the products on the market. We prepare all the information, the testing data, then we notify the NMPA and put the products directly to the market. This will save tons of time and the cost. Also, we need less testing. So at following, I will show you the registration process. So here was to mention that when I say registration process, it refers to the high-risk cosmetics ingredients registration. And when I mention about the notification process, it refers to the low-risk ingredients notification. Okay. So at the beginning, it's for registration and the notification, they are both the same. We need a responsible person to authorize, which means you need a domestic company to be your responsible person, and we apply the simple system account to application. So and then we prepare the application doses. Which I will mention in the next chapter, talk about the required documents. Okay, after we prepare the documents, we submission, and we do the NMPA will do the completeness check within 5 working days. If it's not sufficient, it will go to the supplement. And then it will go to submit to the technical review, and the technical panel will take 90 working days to give you back the result. So if the result is good, we pass the approval, we pass the evaluation, we will have 20 working days for the administrative approval, and 10 working days for certificate issue, to issue your certificate. Yeah, 10 working days to print and issue certificate. And then with 5 working days for public notice. After that, we go to 3 years monitoring, and you can import production and sales your MCI in China market. And the negative side is you might be rejected. So if rejected, you got 20 to 30 working days for appeal. Like you resubmit the application if the problem is small, and or you can challenge the results. Or there's a different situations, supplementary information within 90 working days. This is a very often situation we might count in the past, because in the registration process, the experts always hold as strict as they want. They're willing to evaluate the documents. And then goes to 60 working days technical review if you resubmit submit the information. Okay, as you can see here, as NCI registration process, at the beginning all is the same, but once you submit the doses, it will take many working days to get approval or to supplement information and finally get approval. This took lots of time. But for the low risk ingredients notification, the process will be very simple. Okay, at the beginning of the thing, we assign a responsible person, and we prepare the documents and doses and the safety evaluation, etc. And once we submit the dossiers to NMPA and complete the completeness check, which means that you provide sufficient information for their inspect. So literally speaking, at that point, you just can sell your products, import or production the NCAI locally and to the market. Okay, and there's also have 3 years monitoring period after you get the notification is done. Okay, so what is the 3 years monitoring period? After we get new ingredients certificate to approve, we can sell the product in the market. CFDA, NMPA will grant us 3 years monitoring to monitor the safe use in the market. So the applicant will need to take responsibility of the product safety and keep monitoring the status of the ingredients used in the market. So no safety, as you can see here, after 3 years, if the ingredients is safe, it goes to the IECSA, which means after 3 years use, they think this product is safe and no safety issues occur during the period, they will list your ingredients into the IECSA, which means everyone can use these ingredients from after 6 years, so 3 years. So this is a good news actually for the new cosmetic ingredient applicant who can specifically use or own the market, we say, own the market during 3 years just for you to export, import, production, and sell on the market. Okay, and according to the different types of ingredients, like there's a restricted use ingredients and the positive list. Based on the different types of ingredients, they were listed into such list as well, which I mentioned above as well, like positive list. If your ingredients is whitening function or UV filters or preservatives, they will go to the positive list as well. So if the products has safety issues during the past 3 years, well, we might face two situations. One, definitely the certificate will be cancelled, or even worse, it will be listed to prohibit ingredients list. This can be happen if your ingredients, sorry, if your ingredients during the use in the market, and it causes a serious side effect and adverse reaction to the consumers. In this case, it will be listed to the prohibited ingredient list, which it will be. Well, we can say that if you on the list, it can be never used in China cosmetic products again. So this is a benefit for the company to sell the products in 3 years, but also they need to take the safety responsibilities for the ingredients. So how to define and monitor the ingredients are safe or not during the 3 years monitoring period? Let's take a look. There are 3 monitoring reports might be required for the NMPA to evaluate different situations. Number 1, cosmetics status report. It's only necessary to submit or to provide if the cosmetics products that use the new cosmetics ingredients, new registered ingredients occurs consumer adverse reactions. So if such adverse reactions happens, the cosmetics registration or notification applicant should report the situation. So this is for the finished products applicant. Okay, if there is evidence that the NCI is causing the reaction, and then the evidence for the NCI is indeed that the NCI is causing the reaction, then the cosmetics applicant or the responsible person in China should take immediately action to control risk and to control the risks and report the situation. Okay, for the number 2, the report is we call the NCI status report. If this is only for emergency situation, such as any adverse reaction is very serious, and so this report should be submitted, and a safety evaluation of the NCI is needed to ensure the NCI is safe enough or not. So it is confirmed that NCI has safety issues. The applicant should be immediately also control the risks and report the situation. Number 3, each year, this is a necessary report as an annual report. It should be submitted with summarize and analyze the use and the safety of NCI. So as you can see here, we actually, if we want to notify or register the products, we necessary to build a mechanism or the system to monitor your ingredients usage in the market, which means you need to check all the sales and to keep connect to your distributors to make sure your new registered cosmetics are safe to be used in the market. Okay. So the third is alternative testing. And many of you may wondering whether the NCI registration can be exempted from the animal testing or not. This is a frequent question I'm being asked before. Well, the answer is here. Well, this is actually good news with sad news. There are 17 toxicological test methods for different types of NCI registration, which means 17 animal testing methods, but only few of them can be replaced by alternative testing. So, but the bright side is that NPA is willing to push the alternative testing into the NCI registration. As you can see here, in the recent year, since 2014, since they published the first alternative testing, the 3T3 phototoxicity test, and until 2019, last year, they published 4 alternative testing being at once being introduced to the market. So this is a good sign for us and to think NPA will actually eventually, when the time is mature, we will go to the cruelty-free of the ingredients, cruelty-free for the new cosmetic ingredients registration. But for now, we still need to perform the toxicologist, the animal testing for the registration and notification as well. Okay, talk about penalties. Penalty are another major role will be acted for the new cosmetics regulation. It's regulated as a penalty through manufacturers, NCI restaurant, and the cosmetics notification. So for the foreign NCI restaurant applicant, there is one particular article worth to mention here. So I listed one specific article here to talk about. So as I mentioned before, NCI registrant has the responsibility to monitor NCI usage, the safe use in the 3 years monitoring period, and if it is fair, to report ingredients usage and safety as required. It will face to NPA correction and impose a fine of 50,000 yuan or up to 200,000 yuan. So and then if we suffer serious case and not report, the certificate or the notification will be revoked or cancelled, and then with a fine of 200,000 yuan up to 500,000 yuan. Okay. So following, I would like to talk about the required document and the testing we might need for the cosmetic NCI registration. So this totally 12 items is required by the specification of NCI registration doses, which I mentioned at the beginning. These are focus on these documents are for raw materials, focus on the basic information sources and research R&D report and production preparation process, quality standards, etc., and the safety evaluation. And on 11 point, as you can see, if in case you got agency application like third party like us, the domestic responsible person shall submit the authorization letters as well. Okay, so for the first step for NCI registration is to collect and sort out basic information about the raw materials. First of all, the NCI name and the Latin name if the ingredients is plant source. Okay, well, in principle, new raw materials should not be compounded and should be declared as a single raw material. So to be aware of this, if your ingredients should be purified and be unique, not compound, like we already mix the water or the solvent or the oil inside. That's not possible. We need the single unique raw material to apply the NCI, apply the NCI certificate. Okay, and then source, like from the chemical synthesis, plants, animals, minerals. This is all we need to apply to fill in the application form. And if you have more than 3 years of safe use history or the eating history of new cosmetic ingredients, that will be wonderful. I will talk about that later. The requirements and the documents will be less than the other raw materials. So at the same time, we also provide the purpose of use, scope of application, etc. Okay, that R&D report, we need to submit the research and development report, which contain 4 parts. One, R&D background, which we will later write the purpose, the significance, management classification, like low risk or high risk, and to particularly pay attention to attention to the fact that we need to provide the applicant enterprise to clarify the intellectual property rights of the raw material, which we need well, we need to issue or declaration of the non-infringement with the other company. So this IP rights is protected in the new cosmetics registration. So, and the second, we have a basic information similar to the application form. We have a name, source, relative molecule, mass, and formula, chemical structure, etc. And 3 is key information such as purpose of use. And 4 is usage in foreign countries. So this means we will provide evidence that in your country, it's already been sold, and there's a product name, brand name, and the use history, and the efficacy, usage, dosage, etc. And also the reports of adverse reaction. So if there's an adverse reaction, it will be a rethink for the expert to evaluate the report. Okay, for the preparation process, this is a little bit detailed, should be provided, such as chemical synthesis raw materials. Like we have to mention the starting materials and the reaction conditions, like temperature, or pressure ranges, etc. And the additives, which means solvent, catalyst, stabilize, etc. And the intermediate products, byproducts, and residue impurities. So for natural ingredients, we need to put the source, processing technology, and the extraction method, such as the pretreatment or the extraction conditions, and all the residue impurities. This is important for the residue impurities as well, for the natural ingredients. Okay, and then biotechnology source ingredients, we do put the cultural extraction, separation, purify, etc. So, and then following is the structure, composition, identification. I will not read that as well, but what's to mention is at last, the safety risk substance. Yes, we need to explain whether is there any safety risk substance and the control measures to introduce in the preparation process. And then we need to submit the stability, the valid period of the raw material to determine the result of the stability of the ingredients. The method of the stability test are 3: destructive test, accelerated test, and the long-term storage test. So at the same time, for the long-term storage test data, it will be supplement to the NPA every year during the 3-year monitoring period as well. So as you can see here, for high risks, we have to provide 3 stability tests, and the nanomaterial for the biotechnology source material as well. But for the other ingredients and above, we only need to do the destructive test and the accessory test. Okay. So these are conditions and the terms for each stability test. For destructive test, we need to test with 10 days under the high temperature, which I listed as following, and the products we test at least 1 batch. For the accessory test, the condition is stored for at least 6 months under the following conditions, and we have to test the products around 3 batches. And for the long-term storage test, the condition stored at this temperature and at least in 1 year. So products will be tested into 3 batches. And for next document we need is a quality control standards. Each manufacturer will compose quality control standards for the raw material it produces, which should include the name of the MCI and the MCI quality control indicators and testing methods. So I will not read all this, so you can have a look after I send you the PPT. So this is a list based on the documents levels that are based on the dossier requirement levels, which should first classify the NCI types as following tables shows. For number 1, high risks for sunscreen whitening, etc. And 2, we divided the low risk to also further into 1, 2, 3, 6 in 6 levels. Like the ingredients, there's a low risk ingredients already being used in the market more than 3 years, or it has safe edible history, or greater than 1,000 Daltons polymers, or the international authority organization concluded it is safe. So as organizations like CNR or SCCS. So these kind of ingredients, they will need less testing. And for nano materials, original peptide, and this kind of raw materials from biotechnology, they will suffer 1 or 2 more extra testing. So here's the testing tables I show you here. Testing requirements, all the testing requirements are put here, so you can refer to your ingredients to this table. So I will not be read it again. So, but I put the depends here. We need to particularly explain. So for the first row, the 4th row, the skin phototoxicity and the photoallergic test. It depends on the raw material has ultraviolet absorption characteristics. They necessary to test, like we have the UV protection ingredients or etc. Okay, for the toxic here, for the toxic metabolism and the kinetic test. This test for high risk and low risk ingredients it's necessary to test, but only for like plant ingredients with single component purity like small than 80% do not need to submit this test. Okay, for the inhalation toxicity test, this test must be done when the raw materials, the ingredients may be exposed to the inhalation. So if you, whether you are high risk or low risk, if your ingredients have chance to inhale to the human body, it necessary to test the inhalation toxicity test. Okay, first, for the CNR is already approved ingredients. You should submit the current support materials to the ingredients, to the MPA. So that will be much simple. And for nano materials, it's addition to test the skin absorption and the transdermal absorption testing data. And for the peptide raw materials, it also need to test the skin absorption, transdermal absorption, and also the immunogenicity toxicity test report. Okay, and the final dossier was to mention is EVAC claim base. If your new ingredients has special function claims like the sunscreen, whitening, anti-hair, which I listed at first row, we need to provide the EVAC claim basis. I put here is a pound and plus, which is is optional. It can be supported as a supplement, but for such functions in row number 1, it's necessary to provide at least one of the tests from the in vitro test or the animal testing or human testing. Okay, for the other functions, it also need to provide the efficacy claim based on the four requirement. Either you provide the literature or regulatory information, or you can put the products to test. Okay. So this is my last topic. I will talk about the challenges and the opportunities. Okay, challenges and opportunities. All we need to keep in mind is safety use in the cosmetics market in China. So which means we will take more responsibilities, well, especially during the 3 years monitoring system. We have the right to use the the ingredients in 3 years uniquely, and but we also need to set adverse reaction or the safety monitoring mechanism to control your products is safe. Second, animal testing, as I'm familiar, lots of clients also talk to me from Europe. They already abandoned animal testing and also in the new cosmetic ingredients. So for current data, there are some situations they cannot provide data from without animal testing. So this could be an issue if you cannot perform animal testing in the cosmetic ingredients registration. But the bright side, the opportunities is after the registration shifting to the new cosmetics regulation scope, we can notify the products in short time and less cost to enter China market, which means you have low risk ingredients like polymer or the solvent and the plant as well. Plant is many resources. They can be enters China very quick. So number four, the best opportunity is to occupy the blank China market, which I mentioned. Only 10 ingredients being registered over the last 30 years since MOH and NMPA published the new the old cosmetic regulation. So after 2021, this is a huge blank China market for you to enter. Okay, that's my today's topic. So thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, you can send me email or you can add me, text me through the WhatsApp. List the numbers here, or I will send you the PPT and you can add me later. Okay. Now we can choose a Q&A session. Okay, Jason.
Okay. Thank you, Roger, very much for your very detailed introduction.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And I also collected some questions from our attendees in advance. Okay, wait. The first question is about, you mentioned about 3 years of a transitional period. Okay, wait. Sorry. Okay, I come back. And so I have collected some questions from the attendees. And the first question is about 3 years of a transition period. Can you explain more detail about those 3 years?
Oh, well, after we got the certificate on successful notify your products, in 3 years, you can use your products into the cosmetics in products in China. That's for sure. And you might be wondering whether I can use, and how about others? How about my competitors? Well, this 3 years monitoring is specifically granted to you, so you have the right to use the ingredients in the market, but also you have the responsibilities to take to ensure your products is safe to be used in the cosmetics market.
Okay, I think this is very similar to the intellectual property laws, yes. And I think the legislators from NMPA, they also take lessons from intellectual property. Okay, the second question is about will the new ingredient which you have registered in the future, it will be added into IECIC or not?
Yes, as I mentioned in the previous PPT, it will be added to the IECIC 2015, or maybe it's in the future is 2021 or 2022. But and after it's being listed in the IECIC, which means it will be open for public to use. And then another was to mention is not just added to the IECIC. It also, if your ingredients has special functions like preservatives or UV filter, UV filters, it will be listed to this specific positive list from the safety and the technical standard 2015. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is about what ingredient the company should prepare, or they have to wait until 2021?
Well, it's quite close to 2021, few months left. So the documents, as I mentioned here, is was to provide as a current stage is like beside the testing, we can prepare things like the application, safety, the R&D report, etc. So if you you are wondering is your product is categorized to high risk or low risk, or what kind of materials doses need to prepare first, you can reach out to me. I will send you a questionnaire about the new cosmetic ingredients, so you will have idea what kind of doses you need to prepare and what kind of doses you can prepare at the current stage. Okay.
Okay, thank you. The last question is opening question. It's mentioned, do you think the ingredient manufacturing companies will benefit from this new regulation or not?
Well, definitely will benefit from the new regulation. As I familiar or heard with from the industry market, lots of big companies, like Stingray or the Xishundong, or they based in China, they already been very excited to wait to occupy the market. So that's for sure the benefits for the cosmetics ingredient. If you are innovative ingredients and IP protected, just go for, and the low risk ingredients, just go for the registration, and then you can sell the products to the market. Only you can sell the ingredients to market for 3 years. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think there will be lots of ingredient company just waiting for the 2021. They have prepared a lot and also heard a lot of regulation updates And today, Roger also introduced very detailed about the upcoming registration process. Let me simply summarize. I think, Zhongmao is specialized in the cosmetic regulatory compliance. We also run office in China, in Korea, and in Japan. Also, we manage different kinds of offices in mainland China, including Hangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing, Wuhan, Shandong, such kind of main cities. And in the future, if you have any questions, you can reach any of our office to get the information, and also we will also give the suggestion to process. And let me finally summarize. I think right now, for all the ingredient companies, firstly, maybe you can judge your substance if it is listed in the new ingredient or not. So you have to compare with ICIC in 2015 version, and also you have to collect the existing informations, also including the testing reports in such kind of information. Meanwhile, you can ask Roger to send you the questionnaire to fulfill the more detailed information. So right now, it's the right time to prepare for 2021. It's not an early time. You have to catch up the early trend. Yes. Okay, now time, I see it's, okay. I think it's time to end this webinar. Thank you very much, Roger.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also welcome, we also thank you all the attendees for today's webinar. You have also shared and spent your time to listening. Thank you very much. I think next time we will also organize a series of webinars, including the KISS products for the next series. So if you have any questions, you can also send the information to Roger, so we can collect more details for preparation. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.